In this tutorial, I will cover how to programmatically change the margins of a view. That way you can increase its distance from other views, like this text view over here, and I'm increasing its margin from this up button by pressing it, and when I press the down button, I'm decreasing its margin from the up button. So let's get started, and you can go ahead and copy this basic layout I have over here for just the text view and two buttons. Any layout will work fine as long as you have some sort of way to change the margins of a view. I didn't want to take too much time by writing the view.onClick listener with you guys, so you can pause the video and copy this. It's basically setting this listener on the up button and down button, and then we're checking the ID to determine which button was pressed. So the up button was pressed or the down button. Let's continue. So I'm going to type relative layout, the layout params, and call it params, equals text.getLayoutParams, which will give us the params object. But you can see that it expects a relative layout.layoutParams, not just a regular layout params. So we're going to cast it by doing Alt Enter. And then over here to actually set the margins, we're going to say params.setMargins. It's a method that it has to set the margins for the left, top, right, and bottom. And notice that they're all in pixels. So the @px is just an annotation saying that you provide the number of pixels. So for the left, I'm just going to set it to 200. It's going to be a constant. I'm also going to keep my top margin the same by saying params.topMargin. So this will give me an integer for what the current top margin is. It won't change anything. I'm also going to do the same thing for the right margin, but for the bottom margin, to increase the space between the text and the button, I'm going to say params.bottomMargin, and I'm going to double it each time. I'm also going to finally have to say text.setLayoutParams and provide this params object with the new parameters for margin. I'm going to copy and paste it over here. And instead of saying params.bottomMargin, I'm just going to say params.bottomMargin divide by 2. So we're just going to divide the bottom margin by 2. And you can do any sort of operation you want. You can even subtract it from itself, or you could set it to a constant by just saying like -100 and setting it underneath the button. But this is what the app will look like. And now when we run the app, you can see over here at the up button, and when I tap on it, the text view's left margin is automatically set to 200, and its margin from the button increased by a factor of 2 times. When I press up again, it doubles once more, but it does not change its left margin since that's a constant. Similarly, if I press the down button, you can also see it's begin to move down, and the distance between it and the up button gets cut in half. So what I hope you learned from this tutorial is how to programmatically change the margins of a view in Java using layout params and then saying .setMargins. Stay tuned for future similar videos on how to change the attributes of views programmatically. Until then, happy developing from IJ Apps.